before we move into the opening liturgy, which is called the Barchu, in the past few weeks, we've been beginning to learn some Hebrew together. And I know some of us here know Hebrew quite well, and some of us here don't even know what it is we're looking at. So we've been taking it one letter at a time, essentially. And so far, let's do a little bit of a review. We've learned, I don't have my pointer, but Barchu et. Can you say Barchu et? The first word, Barchu, based on the word barach, which means to bless. And it's the imperative, hey, you, bless. And the next word, et, which is directing us to the object of that verb. Who is it that we are going to bless? The word et itself doesn't have a definition per se, but it becomes that director that points us to the object of our verb. And that brings us to the next word, which is in fact probably the most important word in the Hebrew language, and it's the name of our God and our Lord. And so you see this word, and it has 4 letters. We're going to go through each of these letters. But when you see this word, you'll know this is the name of the Lord. It's a yud, a hey, a vav, and a hey, or if you want in English, a y, h, and a v, and a h. It's what's known to theologians as the tetragrammaton. It's the 4-letter name of our God. And we look at this word and we say, typically in the Jewish community, Adonai, which means the Lord, or actually means our Lord. That we can go into detail with that in private if you want to ask me more about exactly why we're saying it that way. But I'm going to first break it down a little bit. Let's start one letter at a time. The first letter is a yud, and it's the smallest Hebrew consonant that we have, and it's the Y sound. Y is in yellow. Y. Can you all say y? That's the yud. It makes a cute little y sound. All right. The next letter is a hey, and that makes the H sound. H is in hello. Or if it comes at the end of a Hebrew word, just like an H, it is silent, like la, right? You don't hear the H so strongly. So when you see this letter, it looks a little bit like what we looked at. Well, it's hard to explain, but it's got a little break there between the foot and the body, and that's hey, huh. I guess I can have you say huh. The next letter in the word is a vav. We've looked at a vav before. It's just a little stick, and it's v. V is in Victor. And so can we say v? That's the vav. So far I've got a yud, hey, a vav, and one last hey at the end of the word. And again, hey is in hello, or hey is in the end of the letter or the word. So we put these together and we have, how do you pronounce that word? Well, that's probably one of the biggest questions in the last 2,000 plus years, because according to the Jewish religion and the rabbis, we're not really supposed to pronounce this word, the name of our Lord, because it's sacred, right? God is so holy and His name is so ineffable that we as human beings would be desecrating it to say it out loud. That sounds kind of strange to some people maybe who think, well, wait, if we know the Lord, why can't we say His name? But out of reverence and out of respect, our Jewish people will see this word, and instead of pronouncing it, and we could play with some pronunciations, right? If you looked at the Shavah, you looked at the Cholam at the top and the Kamatz at the bottom there, you might say Yehovah, which then if you spelled the Y like the Germans do with a J, you might then pronounce it Jehovah, or some people lately would pronounce it Yahweh. Again, these are all based on what are the possible ways of arranging the Hebrew sounds. But the pointing is actually comes to us from the word Adonai. Those are the vowel points that the word Adonai would have, and we just overlaid those over the Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, so that we see it that way, but we still don't say it other than saying Adonai, which again is Hebrew for our Lord. And in fact, in the Greek translation of the Hebrew Scriptures from 200 or so BC, what's called the Septuagint, even there when you saw the name of God translated into Greek, they translated it using the word kurios, which means Lord, or probably their translation of Adonai, right? So it's been a tradition for a long, long time. It is interesting that when you look at this word, it seems to be, and a lot of scholars would say this, kind of a combination almost of variations on the verb to be. To be. For instance, the verb he was is haya. The verb he is, which is, in the sense in Hebrew, there isn't really a he is, but if you were to arrange the word, it would be hoveh. And then if you say he will be, it would be yehieh. And if you kind of put all these together, you seem to get Adonai, the name of the Lord. In fact, when God presented himself to Moses, and when he said, "Who shall I say sent me?" what did God say? God said to Moses, "I am who I am. Ehyeh asher ehyeh." And that conjugation can mean I am, or I will be, I ever will be. This is God saying, I kind of always am, and I always will be. Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, Ehyeh, I am, has sent me to you. Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. So this is the name of the Lord. But when we see it in the Barchu, we will see the word Adonai. That's how we'll say it when we see the name, okay? And so together we see the whole phrase, Barchu et Adonai. Can we say that together? Barchu et Adonai. Bless the Lord. And now our worship team will lead us in the Barchu.